Welp, y'all, I am back, and we are at day 39 of the story. I kind of had an idea I might just get on and talk, because I had some stuff I wanted to say. And I said, daggone it, I got to do this story. If y'all want something, you got to ask specific, because I'm on this story. I ain't going to mess with it, right? And we are entering into chapter 13. The king who had it all. Yep, that's what we're talking about. Now, here, we'll see where this goes. Because when King David was very old, he could not keep warm even when they put covers over him. Dude was cold. That happens. Some people get old and they can't stay warm. Now Bathsheba went to see the aged king in his room. Man, that sounds lonely, in a room all by yourself, Where Abishag, the Shunammite, the good old Shunammite, was attending him. Bathsheba bowed down, prostrating herself before the king. "What is it you want?" the king asked. She said to him, "My lord, you yourself swore to me, your servant, by the Lord your God." Why is it always your God, not our God? That kind of confuses me. "Solomon your son shall be king after me, and he will sit on my throne." So she's quoting him. She's not saying that after her he'll be king. She's quoting what David had said. And it's in the little quote things, right? The king then took an oath. "As surely as the Lord lives, who has delivered me out of every trouble, I will surely carry out this very day what I swore to you by the Lord, the God of Israel. Solomon," it says your son. What's wrong with him being our son, people? Your has our in it. Just drop the Y. No one wants to know why. Goodness. "Solomon, your son, shall be king after me, and he will sit on my throne in my place." I just don't understand all these yours, right? Probably just a different way of talking. Throws me off. Then Bathsheba bowed down with her face to the ground, prostrating herself, before the king, and said, "May my lord King David live forever." Isn't that sweet? Isn't that just sweet, wanting him to live forever? You sweetheart. Yeah, look at what all happened, because y'all getting all ye. Well, for one, the lineage of Jesus. That's kind of a big deal. But when the time drew near for David to die, he gave a charge to Solomon his son. "I am about to go the way of all the earth," he said. "So be strong, act like a man, observe what the Lord your God requires, walk in obedience to him, and keep his decrees and commands, his laws and regulations as written in the law of Moses. Do this so that you may prosper in all you do and wherever you go, and that the Lord may keep his promise to me, if your descendants watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel." Then David rested with his ancestors, that means died, and was buried in the city of David. Good thing it means died, because if he was just chilling on the couch with his ancestors and they'd buried him, that would be strange. He had reigned 40 years over Israel. 7 years in Hebron, and 33 in Jerusalem. So Solomon sat on the throne of his father David, and his rule was firmly established. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married his daughter. He brought her to the city of David until he finished building his palace and temple of the Lord and the wall around Jerusalem. The people, however, were still sacrificing at the high places because a temple had not yet been built for the name of the Lord. Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the instructions given him by his father David, except that he offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places. The king went to Gibeon to offer sacrifices, for that was the most important high place. Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in a dream, and God said, "Ask for whatever you want me to give you." Nice of you, nice of you. Solomon answered, "You have shown great kindness to your servant, my father David, because he was faithful to you and righteous and upright in heart. You have continued this great kindness to him and have given him a son to sit on his throne this very day." Nice again. "Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David, but I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to count or number. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours?" The Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked for this. So God said to him, "Since you have asked for this, and not for long life, or health for yourself, nor have you asked for the death of your enemies, but for discernment and in administering justice, I will do what you have asked. I will give you a wise and discerning heart, so that there will never have been anyone like you, nor will there ever be. Moreover, I will give you what you have not asked for, both wealth and honor, so that in your lifetime you will have no equal among kings. And if you walk in obedience to me and keep my decrees and commands, as David your father did, I will give you a long life." Then Solomon awoke, and he realized it had been a dream. He returned to Jerusalem, stood before the ark of the Lord's covenant, and sacrificed burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Then he gave a feast for all his court. Now 2 prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. One of them said, "Pardon me, my lord, this woman and I live in the same house, and I had a baby while she was there with me. The 3rd day after my child was born, the woman also had a baby. We were alone. There was no one in the house but the 2 of us. During the night, this woman's son died because she lay on him. So she got up in the middle of the night and took my son from my side, and while I, your servant, was asleep. She put him by her breast and put her dead son by my breast. The next morning I got up to nurse my son, and he was dead. But when I looked at him closely in the morning light, I saw that it wasn't the son I had bore. Not the right one. What now will be happening? The other woman said, No, the living one is my son, the dead one is yours. But the first one insisted, No, the dead one is yours, the living one is mine. And so they argued before the king. I'm just going to say this is a good way where Bugs Bunny would have just said, No, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 what? Yeah. And he like would have messed him up because he would have just he would have just said, No, look, yours is the live one. And they're like, No, yours is the live one. And, okay, I got it, yeah. That would have been a Bugs Bunny thing though. Do you know Bugs Bunny, Sonny D? Everyone should know Bugs Bunny. Not gonna say it's the best form of entertainment, but he was pretty good stuff right there. Yeah. Then the king said, Bring me a sword. So they brought the sword of the king, and he then gave an order. Cut the living... Why would they bring him the sword if he's telling them to cut him in two? Cut the living child in two and give half to one and half to the other. The woman whose son was alive was deeply moved out of love for her son and said to the king, Please, my lord, give her the living baby. Don't kill him. But the other said, Neither I nor you shall have him. Cut him in two. Then the king gave his ruling. Give the living baby to the first woman. Do not kill him. She is his mother. When all Israel heard the verdict of the king, or that the king had given, they held the king in awe, because they saw that he had wisdom from God to administer justice. The people of Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand on the seashore. They ate, they drank, and they were happy. And Solomon ruled over all the kingdom from the Euphrates River to the land of the Philistines, as far as the border of Egypt. These countries brought tribute and were Solomon's subjects all his life. God gave Solomon wisdom and very great insight, and breadths of understanding as measureless as the sand on the seashore. Solomon's wisdom was greater than the wisdom of all the people of the East, and greater than all the wisdom of Egypt. He was wiser than anyone else, including Ethan and the Ezrahite. Yeah. Ezrahite. The Ezrahite. We know what Ethan was. Wiser than y'all. This says He-Man. I'm sure it's not He-Man. We're going to go with Haman or something like that, because it says He-Man. And I know He-Man in it. Ain't no wise dude. What? And Calco and Darda, the sons of Mahal, and his fame spread to all the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. He spoke about plant life, from the cedar of the cedar of Lebanon to the hyssop that grew out of the walls. He also spoke about animals and birds, reptiles and fish. From all nations, people came to listen to Solomon's wisdom, sent by all the kings of the world who had heard of his wisdom. Solomon's name is synonymous with wisdom, in part due to the collection of his sayings contained in the famous book of Proverbs. Touching on many life issues, these catchy couplets offer practical insight into what it means to fear God, to have God-honoring relationships, and how to wisely handle finances, work, and life. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. I'm going to go ahead and read this, but we're at 15, so bear with me. I just want to get done with this page. There we go. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right, just, and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding, indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver, and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse. You're going to go ahead and stop there. It's partway through it because I'm looking pages long in this here proverb. My goodness, we are done on 179, y'all. And I'm getting ready because today is a day when I get to go in and see those fine young men of mine in the Royal Rangers. Yeah. And I'm going to go say hello to them. And I'm going to give them high fives and hugs and handshakes. Tell them I love them. Because that's what we do. Sonny D, maybe you could come when you get bigger. But I love y'all. I pray all of y'all are having a blessed day. And I will see you later. Bye.